Hey there guys, it is I, your host, Karan Jones. Today I have some good news, and then I also have some unfortunate sad news. So let's start with, the sad news is Power Rangers, the movie that we've been looking forward to, that was supposed to come out next year, as in 2016, has now been delayed and pushed back to 2017.
You serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. But on the bright side, I finally got to see Avengers Age of Ultron for free because, I work at AMC Theaters, and it was amazing. And now from me to you, I have a review discussing this movie, so let's get into it. There was one part in this movie where, the Avengers went to Africa because they were looking for, the metal that Captain America's, shield is made out of. And, I'm not huge on Black Panther. I really don't know much of his origin story other than the fact that he comes from Africa and, he's black. That sounded kind of racist, but nonetheless. Hey, it's Black Panther we're talking about. I feel like they were trying to give us a little teaser as to bringing that character, into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which we've already heard, those are some things that they're kind of tweaking at. But, if you know the character and the origin of Black Panther, then maybe you could comment on this video and let me know. But nonetheless, as I was watching, I was like, I wonder if that's where they're trying to go with that. If they're trying to kind of hint at, hey, this guy also exists, in this area as well. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Well, what do you say about those two in this particular movie? He's fast and she's weird. I love that. I mean, pretty much that sums them up as far as like their personality. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to compare things all the time, but for the sake of a character, I'm going to be that guy. So looking at X-Men Days of Future Past, they had their Quicksilver, and looking at Avengers Age of Ultron, this Quicksilver that was, implemented in this film. I like Days of Future Past Quicksilver a little bit better because I feel like even though his role was short, and even in Age of Ultron, he really didn't have a big role at all. Still, I feel like Days of Future Past, he still had more attitude, more of a character to him. I mean, yes, this Quicksilver has an accent and whatnot, but I feel like he lacked character, and it really didn't seem like a superhero to me, even though they both kind of seemed like they were confused and weren't necessarily heroes in the beginning. I felt like he just lacked meat as far as his character, if that makes sense, which it was kind of hard for me to grow attached to him on screen as I was watching. But then I felt like a jerk after he sacrificed himself, saving Hawkeye and that other civilian. Then I was like, okay, now I feel selfish. But nonetheless, that's my thoughts on, those two characters. Yes, he's fast, she's weird, that sums it up. Ultron by far was just a beast. I loved like his, he definitely had a charismatic, childlike humor, in terms of how he would say things and how he would portray things. But then it was also this like psychotic side to him that was, mixed in with that, which was just scary to me. I like when you can go to a place like that where it's like, hey, it's humorous, but it's also scary because it's like, you're on the edge and you really don't know what to expect from this particular person or that character. And I feel like Ultron presented that well. He was presented well in the film, being kind of that robotic, androidish, whatever you want to say, but I really felt like he was presented well as far as like the main villain in this film, and I was definitely intimidated by him. I think that's the word I'm looking for. He definitely was intimidating as far as his character, so I thought they did great on that. One of the things I didn't like though is just he kind of had like some corny punchlines, like he'd be fighting folks, and I remember one in particular, he was fighting Thor, and he's like, Thor, you're getting on my nerves, you're bothering me, something like that, And so yeah, I mean I could pick and choose, but overall, great villain, and I feel like they did a great job bringing him to life. So Hulk and Black Widow, they got a thing going on. I didn't know that. But we kind of already were hinted at that, going into this film. But yeah, it looks like there's some romance obviously going on between those two. And by the way, if you have not seen Avengers Age of Ultron, this is a spoiler video, so do not watch this video. Go watch the movie first and then come back and watch this, and then we can discuss and talk about these things together. But nonetheless, it looks like Hulk is on the run again, kind of like hiding until Captain America says, "Avengers assemble," and then he'll show up in the next movie. But right now, it seems like after this battle, everything that happened, he kind of stayed on this jet that was taking off, and nobody knows where he is. They can't really track him. And it looks like Black Widow was a little bit heartbroken over that. So that's kind of, their relationship is still up in the air as to, what's going to happen with them going down the road, or if nothing really happened. It was just kind of like, a little tease of the relationship. But it was kind of cool to see the big Hulk, kind of have a little love interest within this film as well. There was some leadership tension between Tony Stark and Captain America. And it kind of got me excited and started thinking about, Civil War. As we all know, that's something that they're implementing into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But the reason why it really got me excited is because I can't remember who it was or what character it was in this film that said it, but they're saying, Ultron can't really tell the difference between, saving the world and destroying it. And they were like, I wonder where he gets that from. I mean, it's got to be from his creator, which is Tony Stark. And so something around those lines, what they were saying. And so, Tony and the rest of the team, that was one of the things that was kind of themed in this movie, is either they were going to be the heroes who saved the day, or they were going to be the ones who kind of like destroy things and broke things up. And so I feel like that was interesting to kind of have in this film, because I wonder if they're going to play on that a little bit more going forward in the films, as to, going into the Civil War. Are we going to see, those kind of characteristics within Tony, where it's like, he thinks he's doing the right thing, but really it's kind of destructive, and, other superheroes, kind of feel a different way. Did I just explain Civil War? I think I just did. Just a little bit. Danos, he was shown in the last Avengers movie, at the end, and he was also shown, at the end of the credits of this movie. But I feel like Danos is kind of like Rita Repulsa in Power Rangers, where, he's looking down from space and looking down on the Avengers and all the superheroes and looking for the superb time to send down the putties and, come attack folks. I feel like that's what they're teasing at. We're like, are we going to see him in this movie? Nah, maybe not even the next two movies, but bam, the third movie, that's when I'm going to come and cause ultimate destruction. So yeah, I kind of feel like, he's just kind of like that teaser character leading up to, the big war that they're planning on, presenting in the films, the Infinity thing. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see the character of Thanos. I also really like the Vision. Previously I really didn't know much about the character. I've probably seen him a couple times in the comics or even on the Avengers TV show, but really didn't pay much attention to, the origin or upbringing of that character. And so I think that was really cool, being able to learn a little bit more about who he was, and just kind of how he plays into the story of the Avengers. But he was awesome too, kind of like the upper notch of Ultron, and his intelligence. And it was kind of cool to see just the wisdom and the character of Vision. I thought that was cool too, how they brought that to life. Now the Power Rangers movie that we're looking forward to, unfortunately has been delayed to 2017 and instead of 2016. I've read a few articles, and I guess some of the speculation is it because of the recent Power/Rangers fan film that was created, where it's more dark and gritty, and maybe Saban and Lions Gate kind of want to give it some time, so things aren't kind of discombobulated as far as the ideas going into the film, and they could kind of have a fresh kind of start with the Power Rangers movie. Or it doesn't have to do with casting, so on and so forth, script direction, who knows. But I think we can hold on to a little bit of hope that at least maybe there is some progress going on with it. It is unfortunate that the date was pushed back, because we just have to wait a little bit longer for it. But you know, nonetheless, that's the current news with the Power Rangers film. Now, just as a reward for pushing the film back a whole another year, I think they should at least give us a little meat as to what the film will be about. You know, rather, or even give us a little bit of casting, like who can we expect to be in this movie, and is this Power Rangers movie based on MMPR? So like those characters where we're talking Jason, Trini, Billy, Zach, you know, Kimberly and Tommy. Is it based off of those characters, or is it going to be a new, you know, kind of franchise of a team where we see new people? I'm not sure. But my speculation is it's based off of MMPR and those characters. So it'd be fun to kind of see, you know, what their direction is. Are they kind of retelling, recreating what happened, you know, in MMPR, or is this going to be something totally new? Or is it going to be based off of, you know, kind of current characters? Who knows? But I think it would be kind of fun for them to at least give us a little taste of a little taste of something. At least since we have to wait a little bit longer, I think fans would definitely appreciate that, and you know, just kind of allows us to be patient and wait a little bit longer. But at least to have something to hold on to makes it a little bit easier. And I'm your host once again, Karan Jones. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Well, until next time, peace.